It is a question that has been discussed for as long as can be remembered, a question to define the very existence of our world. Where did this all come from, and how did we get here? There are many things that science can tell us. We know that our world is flat and infinite, but the origins remain a mystery. There are few who would say that this is all part of an elaborate computer simulation, that trees and rocks are simply objects generated by functions in an advanced computer programming language. But these people are silly and ignorant to the evidence in front of them, for our world was molded and terraformed by an ancient and advanced race of aliens thousands of years ago. And here's how they did it.
Okay, now that silly intro is out of the way, today we're going to have a look at this ancient seed ship. This ship was built using creative mode without tools like MC-Edit or World Edit, and was designed to look like a tree. This ship would have been sent out by an ancient race of spacefaring Ents, designed to terraform planets and moons for habitation. It has a small crew complement of between 5 and 10 individuals who would just nurture, whose sole job is to nurture and grow trees to send them out to be planted. We'll go inside in just a moment here, but we'll check out this small little ship on the side here first. So this ship here is designed for once the trees have been grown on the inside, it'll pick them up with its claw on the front, take them out where they need to be planted, and then plant them in the ground. This ship is not designed for being used out in space or in orbit. It's just designed to be used on the planet's surface. So we'll go inside here and have a look inside. Just a small ship, just with a cockpit for one person. If the aliens arrive to a planet that already has vegetation on it, the ship can be sent out to gather saplings and such for study. So we can go into the main ship here, just up this walkway and this hatch. And then we find ourselves in the main cargo hold, in the main nursery of the ship. I've mentioned in the past that I like all of my designs to be able to have some use if they were in a survival world. So this ship here has lots of shelves for storage, and they can be used for storing saplings and seeds and other scientific equipment. There are two main stations here in this ship. Back here, we have this station right here. This is for growing and nurturing and monitoring new saplings. That can be done on this console here, and it can monitor how each tree is doing, how much they've grown, and all of that stuff. Once the saplings here have grown a little bit, they get moved over to this station on the other side of the ship, where they're grown here until they're mature. And then once the ship lands on the planet, that ship that we saw on the outside will take them out to be planted. So the work on this station and the work here can be done while the ship is in transit to its destination. Now, one of the challenges I gave myself with this type of build is not to make everything look super technological. I was thinking if we had a race of aliens that weren't humanoid, what would their technology look like? So there's obviously going to be some higher tech, such as these control stations, but I wanted some key features like the reactor to resemble more of what that race of aliens would look like. So this is a tree type race. So their main reactor is a gigantic tree. And then, so this reactor takes care of not only running all of the stations inside of the ship, but also the propulsion for the ship as well. And that can be seen. The roots go out of the back of the tree that take it to the main propulsion engines. We'll go up over here. Also, with this type of reactor here, as you can see, it goes through the hull of the ship. It also provides some additional lighting in here. I've done that in a few other places. So this tree right here not only provides support for this walkway, but also goes through the hull and provides additional sunlight for the trees to grow. And then I've got another one up over here. Right here is a weather monitoring station, which is something that's really important if you're a scientist and you're on a planet trying to terraform it. This here takes you out to an antenna, which we'll look at right now. So this is it's a weather monitoring antenna. It's going to tell you everything that you need to know about the weather. So what's the wind doing? How fast is it blowing? Percent of precipitation? How much pollen's in the air? Basically everything that you'd ever want to know to grow trees. Or plant vegetation, you can gather from this workstation right here. Up over here we have the cruise area. We have a kitchen right here. Just a small kitchen with a little fridge and a stove and a food prep area, and then a little bit of storage right here. We'll go up to the bridge here in just a moment. You can see here's the whole bridge right here. Up over here we have the crew quarters. Now right now the ship has landed. So it only has 3 beds. So when the ship is flying to its destination, you're going to have the navigation crew there. So I mentioned earlier it would have a crew complement of between 5 to 10 individuals. Right now, the ship has landed on the planet, and they're currently growing and planting trees and terraforming the Earth. So while the navigation crew isn't needed for that, so they'd be reassigned, and then just the scientists or horticulturists would be present here. So there's just 3 of them right here. So as I mentioned, this this ship is not a ship of war. So there are no weapons. So there are no workstations here that are designed for firing weapons. This sole purpose is to find planets and moons to be terraformed, and that's what this station does right here. The station goes out and searches solar systems for moons and planets, and examines them, and then that information is sent over to this workstation, where a ground level analysis is completed. On each of the candidates. That information is then sent over to the captain, and the captain can make the decision on where to take the ship next. This console here is just for navigation, and then the captain sits here, and here he can monitor everything that's going on with the ship, as well as issue orders and navigate the ship to where it needs to go. These 2 workstations right here are for monitoring what's going on in the nursery, back in the crew hold, or not the crew hold, back in the cargo hold. So it's monitoring things like power levels and environmentals and how the saplings are going. So we're going to head outside here now, and we're going to discuss a few things with the hull, and I'll catch you there in just a few seconds. As I mentioned, I wanted this ship to resemble a tree. I didn't want a ship that was 100% symmetrical, and I didn't want it to look like it was built, but rather something that was grown. The key features of the ship that I built around are the landing gear, which I've designed to look like tree trunks, which you can see here, as well as the glasswork here in the bridge. I wanted the front to resemble the top of a maple tree or an oak tree, something that's kind of flowing and asymmetrical. All in all, I'm pretty happy with the end result. Although I do wish that this design allowed for more room on the interior. There's a lot of dead space on the inside, so like a lot of spots that weren't quite big enough to put in a room or even functional decor. If I had tools like World Edit, then I'd be able to make up for those shortcomings. But at the end of the day, I'm pretty happy with it. So that's all for this video. In the next one, we're going to check out we're either going to check out this little ship right here, or perhaps I'll do a building tutorial. If you have a preference, let me know, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.